Kush's movie review.
This week on Kush's movie review, we're talking about Arthur the King, a story of a young man who finds a sword stuck into a big stone, and then with the help of his dog, everyone else is trying to get this sword out of the stone, but no one can do it. But this kid, he just pulls it out and shoo, like easy, he pulls out the knife, and then everyone says, "Wow, you are the king of England." The end.
Oh, are you done there? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one has come up with that joke before you.
I bet.
Outstanding.
I bet.
We are talking about Arthur the King. It is a soft PG-13. It is 90 flat minutes. I'm not gonna lie. While I wouldn't say let's remove any time from it, it feels a little longer. It did. But maybe that's just the advertisements at the Regal. Anyways, this is directed by a man named Simon Cellon Jones. He did a Mark Wahlberg family film just before this, but other than that, he does a lot of TV. A couple full features and TV are few and far in between. So he does mainly TV, but he got this movie, and honestly, I think he did a good job. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. This is written by it's adapted by a man named Michael Brandt, and it's based on a true story by another man named Michael Linnord. Michael spelled with a K, not a CH. And the book is called
Madness.
Madness, right? He's very Eastern European.
Anyway, okay, that makes sense. They love
Arthur, the dog who crossed the jungle to find a home, is what the book is originally titled. This stars Mark Wahlberg, Simu Liu, Nathalie, Emmanuel, and a gentleman you've never heard of named Ali Suliman. And then Uki is the dog that plays Arthur. And I'm surprised that there's only one credit for Arthur, because normally there's like 4 or 5 of these dogs on set. So this is about Mark Wahlberg's character, again, based on a true story. He's involved in a lot of those Iron Man competitions. This one's a triathlon where it involves swimming, running, and biking. I mean, the way the rules are is you have to get from A to B. There are 10 checkpoints in between, but you choose however you get there. There's a map. Here's where everything is. Figure out how to get there the fastest. And most folks follow a route. Some folks take shortcuts. That can be a benefit. That can be a detriment. At the beginning of the film, we see them take a shortcut, and it goes south immediately, to the point where like one person in their quad literally needs like an IV, is just immediately dehydrated, pulling a kayak through the mud. It's not pretty. It's pretty embarrassing. One of the rules is if an IV is involved, you're benched for 4 hours minimum. If that person needs longer, well, then they need longer, but you're penalized 4 hours, so you can't move. That will come up later in the film. So the first competition we see, and our hero Mark Wahlberg has been doing this for close to 20 close to 20 years at this point, and fails. In fact, he's failed so many times that folks are like, dude, are you even gonna finish? Fuck winning. Are you even gonna finish? Like, you never finish this race. You almost never place. Yeah, what is wrong with you? It's getting to the point where you can't get a sponsor. He has married one of his teammates who now has a child of his, so she's officially retired. So he has to find a whole new team when it comes to this newest race, because he's like, yeah, I've been doing this 20 years, 2 decades, probably not going to be able to do this again. I kind of don't care for the Mark Wahlberg character. He tries to do a whole arc. He tries to grow as a human being. But it's just like, what are you doing, bro? You're
saying he
spending
doesn't
way
give
more
you
money
good
on.
vibrations?
Would you say that again, please?
Are you saying he doesn't give you good vibrations?
No, he does not.
Oh,
Thank you. I understood that joke. I understood that reference. So
you got that. Yeah, my reaches.
That's good. Majority of our audience, I think, won't get that reference, but I appreciate it. Thanks.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. What are they called?
Well, that for those who don't know, that is why people keep calling him Marky Mark. He was a '90s hip hopper. He had one album. I think it did pretty well, but there was no second album, and he immediately tried to get into movies and
Yeah,
succeeded.
all jokes aside, that that album had some bangers on it. I will say that.
Okay, I don't know the one song, but
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. And that is a great song.
it's not a bad
And
song.
also, fun facts: musical family. Because if you don't know, his older brother Donnie, New
Hmm.
Kids on the Block.
Just the facts, ma'am.
They fucking love it. Well, I think Mark Wahlberg used to be was originally a New Kids on the Block, but exited before they actually did anything, if I remember correctly.
I've never heard that story before. I've been alive longer than you, but I also don't follow up on this stuff. So, but I've never heard that. I feel
Anyway,
like that would have been repeated as nauseum at this point.
anyway, proceed.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, Mark Wahlberg has to recruit his team. Simu Liu, as you know from Shang-Chi, he was also in the Barbie movie this year or last year. Yeah, he's the popular one, very handsome, has a social media account, million plus followers, and he needs him for those numbers because the sponsors aren't even going to give him half of what he wants if that dude is not on the team. Nathalie Emmanuel from Game of Thrones. She's also in the Fast and the Furious movies now. Um, she plays a woman who just she's doing this for her father. Her father used to do these Iron Man tournaments,
But
and then
family.
it is later revealed that he has cancer. And while she is doing this specifically because he, well, you could say requested, you can say demanded. He is here. She is here for him, but every day that she is not with him is one day less she will have with him. And then Ali Suliman, he is the only champion in this quadrilogy. He has 4 world champions prior to this, and the only reason why he isn't running with his team again is he's old and his knee is all fucked up. This is me smacking my right knee. Um, they are a motley crew. They are a bunch of misfits, and again, they have to travel over 400 plus miles. I love it when these movies that take place in like the Dominican Republic or Costa Rica still use miles when I know they're using kilometers, but thank you. We're Americans. So, about 75 miles into the trip, they run into a dog. And by the way, the country they're in is just filled with stray dogs, much like Italy is filled with stray cats. This country is filled with stray dogs. And we meet Arthur, the king. But before he's a king, he's a dog. And yeah, man, he's been beaten severely. He is barely clinging on to life. When he can find food, he is running away from other dogs that are just existing. It's a bad life. And throughout the movie, our hero Arthur the king is bleeding profusely from the abdomen. Like it's to the point where like, how have you not died already? What the hell?
Because
Anyway,
he's a good boy.
oh well, that makes scientific sense then, and he is a very good boy. Anyway, he's at our primary team's first checkpoint. You come to this checkpoint, there are supplies waiting for you, there are tools waiting for you. Like, oh, this next part of the race, you have to use a bike, so your bike is here. There's also a tub filled with food. You may take anywhere from 20 minutes to 1 hour for rest. You can sleep, you can shit, you can take a shower, you can leave earlier if you wish. That's the rules in this, but it's never longer than an hour unless someone needs an IV, and then again, you're penalized 4 hours. So our team is they're in the way back, and then again, our navigator Ali, he figures out some weird shit. This was the craziest movie. This was the craziest moment in the movie for me, where they decided to take a shortcut. Everyone else is going this one direction, and they're like, "There's a zip line right up this hill here," and sure enough, there's a sign that says Peligro. By the way, for you non-Spanish speaking folks, that means danger. It means
Uh-oh.
go away. It means don't go up these fucking stairs, stupid. And our team does anyways. Um, they have to zip line from A to B. They're maybe half a mile in the air, and there's no safety net. And our first two characters actually get across very safely and very dangerously to the point where like they're strapped in. They have to have their 10 speeds strapped to their back, and these assholes are just like doing free just free sailing where like, yeah, I must pipe down and I've got a GoPro here and I don't care and I'm gonna just scream. And by the way, this is the point of the movie where uh, if you're like me and you have mad vertigo, your palms are just sweating the entire time.
Ugh.
Your hands have nothing to do with this scene, and no hands are involved in this scene. In fact, everyone is very hands off on this scene. However, I could not be more afraid for everybody in this because guess what? Nathalie Emmanuel, I don't know if it was the cable itself or her little rig, but she gets stuck in the middle of the zip line. Again, it's minimum. I didn't have a measurement stick there, guys, but it's at least half a mile up. Whatever, however tall it is, if this bitch falls, immediate death. She gets stuck. Mark Wahlberg comes in, saves the day, but he also has to do this thing where, like, one, he has to figure out how to brake and not hit her, and then he has to figure out, or decides he has to figure out, I'm gonna unhook from this rig, and then I'm gonna rehook in front of you, and then you're gonna hook onto my bike, and I'm gonna carry you the rest of the way, and that's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Spoiler alert: they make it. This is a true story. It'd be weird if they didn't, but yeah, that's maybe the most dramatic scene. It's very well done. There are GoPros on extended arms, where a lot of this film is done documentary style,
Oh, found
despite
footage.
being not necessarily found footage, but documentary style, if you will. So, um, like I said, they have already met Arthur the dog, and then they went, "Here's some meatballs. Go away, dog." 200 miles later, Arthur is there, and they have to go on the map, and they're like, "How'd that happen?" Anyways, they don't know how Arthur found them, but like rivers and valleys and a goddamn zip line were involved, and somehow this dog who is literally dying with every step, again, true story, somehow finds them, and then they adopt him. And anyways, they go on and finish the race, and I won't tell you much more other than that. I enjoyed this movie. It's 90 minutes, which you know I love. Could have been shorter, maybe. Um, it's a long 90 minutes, but I enjoyed what I saw. If you're a dog fan, you're gonna be a big fan of this.
Am
And
I gonna cry? Am I gonna cry?
probably,
Ah,
probably, yeah.
'cause I might be going to see this movie this weekend.
I mean, I got misty
Anything that
eyed. I'm
involves
not
a
a dog
dog.
person, but I was just like, oh my god, uh, are they gonna kill this fucking dog right now? I hope not. Oh my god,
So what's your final score?
3 out of 5.
3 out
I
of
wish it was higher,
5.
but it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's definitely for the family. It's definitely gonna be on Amazon Prime in like a month. It's not gonna. There was a time when dog movies ruled the world, or at least America. That we are not in that time, but this was a very good inspirational film. It's a sports movie. It's a dog movie. It's a family movie. It crosses many vectors. It's good. It could be better, but I liked what I saw.
The real hard hitting question is though, is it better than All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Never seen that movie actually, and I'm a
What?
big Don Bluth fan. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I like Burt Reynolds. I like Dom DeLuise. Again, I like Don Bluth. Never seen that movie. Is it better than Marley and Me? No.
There you go. Also before we wrap up, so technically I was right, but sort of technically wrong. So apparently in the early 1980s, Maurice Starr discovered R&B quintet New Edition and guided their early success. After breaking ties with them, Starr and his business partner, Mary Alford, sought to create a white counterpart act. 15-year-old Donnie Wahlberg impressed Starr and Alford with his rapping skills, becoming the group's first member. He was initially joined by his younger brother, Mark, who left the group only after a few months. And then the other members got recruited. So technically, Mark Wahlberg was technically New Kids on the Block, but he wasn't really. He left before it became a thing.
Well, Lou Pearlman made New Kids on the Block, much like he made at least got New Edition famous. But every story I've heard, there's no New Kids on the Block before Lou Pearlman.
So that's why it's technically he was supposed to be in it, but he never ended up being in it.
Well,
so
they tried a brother combo, and that didn't work. Clearly, didn't work.
Still,
it is crazy that Mark, the younger brother, has had a better career than Donnie. However, Donnie has silently had a fantastic career. He's one of those. If he's not on CSI, he's on NCIS.
Or what was it? Is it Blue Bloods or something?
Or Blue Bloods. He's on some CBS procedural
with
cop show.
With what's his face?
Blue Bloods is Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Okay, if he's on that, he's having a great career.
I think Tom Selleck is either his father or his father-in-law in that show. I never really watched a lot of it, but yeah,
same.
But still,
but you know what it is.
You don't want to show Tom Selleck. I'd be very happy with my career. There you go. That's me. Anyway, Arthur the King, 3 out of 5. Very good 3 out of 5, apparently.
Very good 3 out of 5. Could be better, though.
Check it out if you love dogs. Maybe close your eyes if you're scared of heights.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, if you hate heights, dude. This is a horror movie.
I hate heights, so I might be like...
If you hate heights, there is a fantastic movie that Robert Zemeckis did in the early 2000s called The Walk. And it was about a French trapeze artist who lost his fucking mind and decided, oh, there's this thing in New York getting built called the World Trade Center. Oh, there's 2 of them. I need to fix a line between both buildings and walk across it at the very tippity top. And by the way, he succeeds, but also New York in the 1970s has never experienced this. So like helicopters are getting involved in this, and this man he's got no safety wire. He's literally on just a single trapeze wire. Like the gust of wind could just knock him off any point. So it's if you have the chance to ever see Robert Zemeckis' The Walk, that thing will make your blood run ice cold.
How do you get the wires from one end to the other?
They shot an arrow with the tiniest string, which was attached to a thicker string, which is attached to a rope, which was attached to a thicker rope. Like it was a whole procedure. Oh, yeah. Like they had to start this thing at like 9:00 at night when the crew left, because the building is still under construction, both of them. And then by the time sunrise happened, they were ready to do the trapeze walk.
Fuck that. That's what I
was. That's all, folks.
Play me off, Johnny.